What's going on, YouTube? So today we're going to be doing an oil change. I'm going to show you guys how to do an oil change on a 2020 Grom Clone, and we're going to do it the right way to show you guys how to properly do it. So what you need to do an oil change is an oil pan, whatever you want to do, a can to catch the oil, a 17 millimeter wrench or socket, whatever you prefer, and then of course oil. So basically how you do this is on the clones, you'll have two drain plugs, which are down here. There's one right here, and then there's one right here. The one that you want to take out is the one closest to the exhaust. So you'll want to take out that one. That will drain the oil. The other one has like a push out in it for like the oil pump or whatever. So you don't want to take out that one. So I'll show you guys how to take the oil out and drain it and how to do it correctly. So let's start. So what you'll need to do is push a can underneath here. I like to have where the oil goes into the can facing the way that it's going to travel. So I always kind of like having it face forward, because it's going to drop down here and it's going to travel up forward. And it won't go underneath the bike. It's going to go like where there's more room. So that's how you'll do that. Then you'll take your socket and then lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. So you'll loosen it up where you probably can just finger tighten it. Yep. So you'll take this bolt out, and the oil will spit out pretty fast. So you'll take it off. Take it off, and there goes the oil. It is pretty clean oil because we're doing a break-in oil change right now. So the bike has like 100 miles on it. This is our second oil change on this bike. So the oil does look pretty clean, which is good. You don't want to see like sparkles on your oil. Otherwise it's like metal shavings. You don't want to see that. So it doesn't look like it in the can, obviously, that it's not sparkly. So it's looking pretty good. And you can see it's going pretty slow coming out of there. You can kind of see it. So, see how slow that's going? It's going pretty slow. So what can help in that situation is if you take off the cap, it will help. Let's put the cap down there. It will help. It'll go a little faster. So, you'll basically just let the oil drain out, and then we'll continue on. Once the oil is fully drained out, I'll continue where I left off, putting the oil in and putting the cap back on and everything. So I'll show you guys that, and we'll get back to that. So what you'll want to do, the oil is kind of done. You can see it just dripping out just a little bit. Well, what you want to do is hold the bike straight up, and then it'll come out more, see? So if you hold the bike straight up, that will help a lot. And since this is break-in oil, I'm not going to be pouring a little bit of oil in there to flush out the bad oil. So I'm not going to just throw some in there. So I'm just going to kind of keep it the way it is. But the next oil change I would do, so in this, like, let's say your bike has 500 miles on it, right? And you want to do a proper oil change. What you want to do is there will still be bad oil in the container. So what you'll want to do is take your new oil, just pour just a little bit in there, and it'll flush out your bad oil that was in there before. And then you'll put your cap on, and then you'll end up pouring it in. But we're gonna skip that step this time because it's just break-in oil. It's nothing really too serious. This is our second time changing it. The bike has 100 miles on it. It's not something that's gonna hurt the bike because the oil looks perfectly fine. So we're just gonna put the cap back on, the plug back on, and we're gonna tighten it, and then we'll end up putting some oil in it, and we're gonna start the bike and show you guys how it runs again. So make sure that all the oil's out. I'm gonna tip it back up. Nothing's really coming out of it. So it doesn't take much. So that's always good. Let it drip out. I actually that's pretty good. It's not bad at all. So put the bike back down. You'll take the plug. And I don't have a rag on me right now. So if you guys do have a rag, you guys can clean it off or whatever. So I'm gonna put the plug back on. And you'll go righty-tighty. Because you want, and this does not need to be torqued down or anything. It's just a drain plug. It just needs to be on firm. So I'll show you guys what firm means. Just tighten it up a little bit. Doesn't need to be too much. So you see it's so easy to put on. So now it's kind of tight, as you guys can see. It's kind of tight. So what I'll do is just do a little snug. See the bike's moving by it? That's pretty good. So basically the drain plug's good. So what I'll do, I'll put this underneath just in case I don't have it too tight. I'll see it leaking a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll crack open the new oil. What we got here, we got the 10W40 for motorcycles. So that's just what we got recommended to use. So we're gonna use it that way. And I'll tear it open. And I always pour oil sideways. The reason why I pour it sideways is so it doesn't burp and doesn't squirrel all over the engine. So I always pour it sideways. I go really slow sometimes. So I'll pour it in. I'm not gonna pour the whole thing in. I'm gonna pour about half of it in. So I poured about half of it in. The reason why I poured half of it in is because I want to check the level. I want to make sure I'm exactly correct, because you don't want to put too less oil in, otherwise that could be really bad. Your engine can blow up or whatever because it's lacking oil, or you don't want to put too much in because you want to overdo your oil. So what you want to do, you have a little dipstick. It comes with a dipstick. Every 2020 Grom Clone that I know of comes with a dipstick. So what you want to do with the dipstick is you want to clean it off so the old oil's on. Use your shirt, use a rag, whatever you want to use. It'll be clean. And your oil, you want to see your oil up to that part right there. That means your oil is good. So obviously it's not going to be good. We know that for a fact, but we want to know where it's at all times. So you want to put your bike straight up to make sure that the level is going to be correct. So your bike's going to be straight up like this. And then you'll see, you'll check your cap where it's at. So make sure your cap's all the way down. You'll pull out your cap again and you'll see the dipstick. And you'll read from there. And you're going to add accordingly to see how much oil you got in there. So you'll put the bike back down. We already know because we'll check it. We already know it's not done because we didn't put some in, but you'll check it. And you can see on the dipstick, it's only reaching to right there. So we need to add a lot more in. Since it's only right there, we've got to add a lot more in. So we'll add more in. And we'll keep doing it. You know, this isn't something that you need to rush. It's not a hard job, so let's just play it safe and keep going with it. So we'll add more in. Okay, I added about another, I added about that much in so far. So about a fourth of the bottle I added in. And we'll clean it again. You always want to clean it. Use a t-shirt, rag, whatever you want to use. You can tell I cleaned it off. So I'll put it back in. All the way down. Make sure the cap's all the way on. Cap's all the way on. The bike comes level again. And then we'll check it again. We'll see what the dipstick says. So pull the dipstick back off. And the oil's almost there. It's about a quarter away left until it's where it needs to be. So we'll put the dipstick back down. We know we're almost there. We know obviously it's not gonna take the rest of this because it's close, it's very close on the dipstick. So we'll pour about just a little bit more in, not much more. Like that. So the reason why you don't wanna check the oil with the bike reading or the oil reading like this is because the engine it's slanted like that. So all the oil is gonna come down to this section. So it's not gonna read correctly if it's laying down sideways like that. So you always wanna read it with the engine level, because that means the oil will be level and you can read it better that way. So when you do that, you'll take off the cap and then you'll check the oil. And the oil looks perfect. It's in a perfect location. It's exactly where you want it. It did not take a whole quart of it. So this oil would be good to use for your next oil change you do. You'll want to pour all this oil out to flush out the old oil. That's what this would be good for. So we're gonna keep that for the next oil change we do. And we're gonna do an oil change about every 100 to 300 miles. It's not expensive to do. It's like $10. It keeps your bike in good shape for a long time. So that's how you'll do that. And what you'll do here, because the oil needs to run through the bike, so what you'll do here is you'll turn on the bike. So what you want to do is start the bike, let the oil run through the engine. And since this is carbureted, we kind of got to keep it running a little higher RPMs right now to keep the bike warmed up. But the oil right now is running through the engine, the new oil, and it's lubricating everything. And there's no metal flakes in it anymore because we cleaned it out. So you'll let this run for about a minute or two, and the oil is not leaking out of the pan, which is good. The oil is not leaking out of the pan. I can even show you right now. It's not leaking out of that hole the plug, which is really, really good. You don't want it to leak out of there. If it is leaking out of there while you're putting the oil in, make sure you tighten it up before you pour the whole quart in there, so you don't waste a whole quart of it. But that's how you do it. And then once you let the bike warm up, I'm not gonna let it run up for the time being because I'll do that off camera. I just wanna show you guys how to do it correctly. So once you let the bike run for a couple minutes or so, you'll wanna make sure that you're 100% correct. Cause you don't want, like I said, you don't wanna run out of oil. That's not good. You don't wanna be stranded on the road. So you'll pull out your oil dipstick and you're gonna wipe it off again. And then you're gonna put it back in there. And then you'll put the bike straight up to make sure it's gonna read correctly. You put the bike back down. You'll take out the dipstick. And then you'll read the dipstick again. And it is perfect. It's in a great location where you want it to be. So that is how you do an oil change on a 2020 Honda Grom Clone. It's a very simple process to do. And if you do it when you're supposed to, your bike will last longer than if you just hold it off for a while. You usually want to do an oil change right when the bike gets here, so it doesn't have that shipment oil. You want that oil just sitting in there for however long it sits in the factory for. So you change it right when it gets here. You change it after like 50 miles for a break-in again, or 100 miles, wherever you guys really prefer. We waited till 100, and you change it again. And this is the second oil change we did on this 2020 at 100 miles. So if you guys did like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and comment. All those mean a lot to me, guys. Let's grow together and let's make awesome content so you guys can enjoy it. So thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Peace.